In this episode of the Real Blend podcast, the hosts are joined by Greta Gerwig, the director of the film Barbie. The hosts express their excitement to have Gerwig on the show, especially after their previous interview with Christopher Nolan. They discuss the idea of ideas living on forever as a storyteller and how Gerwig's films, Lady Bird, Little Women, and Barbie, feel like an unofficial trilogy. Gerwig explains that she and cinematographer Rodrigo Prieto had conversations about the philosophy behind the camera movements and the design of the shots in Barbie. They wanted the camera in Barbie Land to have a mechanical but innocent feel, with full frontal and clear moves. The film was shot in a 2-to-1 ratio to see people head to toe. Gerwig also discusses the practicality of certain shots, such as the shot of Barbie's feet. She explains that they used Margot Robbie's actual feet and created a practical setup with sticky marks on the floor and a bar for Robbie to step out. They wanted everything to be done practically and to create a floating dancer quality to the camera. The conversation then shifts to a discussion about Ken and the song Push by Matchbox 20. Gerwig explains that she wanted to celebrate the articulation of feeling like there is no way to win the game of unrealistic expectations. She praises Ryan Gosling's performance as Ken and mentions that people are talking about a supporting actor nomination for him. Gerwig shares her experience working with America Ferrera and how she delivered an incredible monologue in the film. She explains that the monologue was a cathartic moment for everyone on set and made them feel like she was tapping into their own experiences. Gerwig emphasizes the importance of bringing heart and humanity to films and appreciates the collaboration with her cast and crew. The hosts then transition to a spoiler-free review of Barbie. One host mentions that the film exceeded their expectations and found it to be one of the funniest movies of the year. They highlight the brilliant script, strong performances, and ensemble cast. They specifically mention Ryan Gosling's performance and suggest he should be considered for a supporting actor nomination. They also note that the film goes beyond being a typical Barbie commercial and explores themes of women's place in the world, toxic masculinity, and the fragile male ego. They speculate that children may enjoy the film but may not fully understand its deeper themes until they revisit it in the future. Overall, they emphasize the importance of judging a movie for what it is rather than what one expects it to be. The hosts then discuss the film Oppenheimer and its projected box office performance. They mention that Barbie and Oppenheimer are both expected to do well at the box office, with Barbie projected to open at $40 million and Oppenheimer at $64.7 million. They comment on the significance of these numbers, particularly for Oppenheimer, which is a 3-hour R-rated biopic. They also acknowledge the limited release of Oppenheimer compared to the wide release of Barbie. One host expresses their dread of the potential headlines comparing the box office performances of the two films, emphasizing that there is no competition between them. The hosts then share their spoiler-free reactions to Oppenheimer. One host describes it as one of the most profound and important films they have seen, highlighting its terrifying and horrifying aspects. They praise Nolan's use of IMAX and sound design to immerse the audience in the time period of the film. They also commend the performances, particularly those of Cillian, Downey, Florence, and Emily Blunt. They describe the film as intimate yet epic and praise Nolan's mastery of ambiguity, nuance, subtlety, and restraint. They believe that Oppenheimer is Nolan's best film and one of the best films of the century. Another host shares similar sentiments, stating that the film awakens a sense of terror and has a lasting impact. They note the use of color and black and white to create ambiguity and the immersive experience of watching the film in IMAX. They also highlight the Trinity test sequence and the cast's performances. Overall, they highly recommend Oppenheimer.